Have you ever been alone for so long that darkness feels like home? Stay until the end, or the water finally stills. The pilot's small plane had crashed in a remote area of the Canadian wilderness, leaving him the only survivor. As he emerged from the wreckage, the crunch of snow beneath his feet was the only sound that broke the stillness. The vast expanse of white stretched out before him, a canvas of unbroken snow that seemed to swallow all noise. What happened next changed everything he thought he knew about himself. The pilot's initial panic gave way to a numbness, a sense of detachment from the reality of his situation. He trudged through the snow, his feet heavy with the weight of his boots, his eyes scanning the horizon for any sign of rescue. But as the days passed, the silence began to seep into his bones, and he started to feel the weight of his own solitude. The silence that followed was unlike any he had ever heard. It was a palpable thing, a presence that wrapped itself around him, making it hard to breathe. And yet, as he walked, the snow crunching beneath his feet, he began to feel a sense of peace, a sense of being a part of something much larger than himself. The trees loomed above him, their branches etched against the sky like a delicate pen and ink drawing. The air was crisp and cold, with a hint of wood smoke carried on the wind. As he walked, the pilot stumbled upon a frozen lake, its surface glinting like a sheet of polished steel. He stood at the edge, feeling the wind whip his face, and gazed out across the lake's expanse. The stillness was almost overwhelming, a sense of being suspended in time. What he discovered out there is something most people spend a lifetime avoiding. The pilot's thoughts turned inward, to the fears and doubts that had haunted him for so long. He had always been driven, always pushing himself to be better, to achieve more. But as he stood on the edge of that frozen lake, he realized that it was all just a facade, a mask to hide his own vulnerability. The wind died down, and an unearthly silence fell over the lake. It was as if the very world was holding its breath, waiting for him to make a move. And in that moment, the pilot felt a sense of freedom, a sense of release from the burdens that had weighed him down for so long. He took a deep breath, feeling the cold air fill his lungs, and began to walk across the lake's frozen surface. The ice creaked beneath his feet, a low, ominous sound that seemed to echo through the stillness. But he didn't look back, didn't hesitate. He kept walking, his eyes fixed on the horizon, his heart pounding in his chest. As he reached the other side, he felt a sense of accomplishment, a sense of pride. He had faced his fears, and had come out on top. The pilot's journey was far from over, but he knew that he would never be the same again. He had been changed by the wilderness, by the silence and the solitude. And as he looked out across the lake, he knew that he would carry that sense of peace, that sense of freedom, with him for the rest of his life. The sun was setting, casting a golden glow over the landscape. The trees stood tall, their branches etched against the sky like a delicate pen and ink drawing. The air was crisp and cold, with a hint of wood smoke carried on the wind. And the pilot stood there, alone and at peace, his heart filled with a sense of wonder, his spirit